Hello and greetings everyone. I really appreciate the time that you take to watch my videos. Today I will talk about a topic that is very important to me personally, to my family, to many families and people out there, and perhaps even for the future of mankind. A topic that is very often abused to make money, to scam people into paying for stuff that doesn't work, that is really horribly used quite often to make money from those suffering. It is a topic that is discussed very diversely at all levels of society. It is a topic that is very interesting, especially for those who are into medicine or psychology, and that has a lot of weight for all the autists out there. The topic is actually, can autism be cured, and indeed, should it be cured? Now, before we start, what is autism? I've already made a video on that, so please just watch it. I just want to reinforce one thing. Autism is a spectrum, and you can have it very severely and very, very insignificantly. And all autists are individuals, and not all autists are the same. Saying that autists are all alike each other is like saying all black people are, or all people with diabetes are. Or sorry, all people who had a heart attack are. They have something in common, but it doesn't tell anything about the personality. So, with that out of the way, if you want to cure something, you first need to know what makes someone sick. You cannot treat a disease if you don't know where it's coming from. If you try, you may actually cause much more damage. If, say, someone has a stomach pain and you don't know what you're doing and just remove the stomach because that's the thing that pains, you actually kill a person by trying to curing them with a wrong cure. So the same goes for autism. You can make a lot of things much worse by using a cure that simply doesn't work. And that's the thing. We have no idea what exactly causes autism. There are statistics that show that autism is a genetic related topic. If one of your parents is an autist, your chance of being an autist as well increase drastically. If both of your parents are autists, the chances of you getting autism are even higher. If you have autism in your family or autism related, or let's say similar diseases to autism, or diseases is maybe wrong when talking about autism, but you get the idea. If you have that in your family, your chances of getting it are much higher. So it seems to have to do something with genetics, but that's not the only reason someone can become autistic. It has been shown that some substances during pregnancy, and only during pregnancy, can actually heighten the risk of getting autism. There are some circumstances that have not really been singled out that may lead to autistic behavior in early childhood if some trauma occurs, but that's not real autism. That's just displaying some symptoms of autism without actually being autistic. So, since we do not exactly know what causes autism, we can't do anything about it. We do know that it has a genetic component, and we cannot influence genetics. We cannot change someone's genes. We cannot change the very chromosomes you're consisting of, That's not possible. And whatever treatments you may have heard of, they won't change genetics. If you want to change someone's genes, you would need very, very high levels of radioactive rays, gamma rays, radioactive stuff, And I don't think you want to expose someone to high levels of radiation, because that will very likely kill them. And if mutations in the gene pool occur, they will very likely be very, very disadvantageous. So no matter if you talk about homeopathy or some pills or some therapy, you cannot change the genes. You can't. It's not possible, first of all. Now, what causes the symptoms of autism? That's the more interesting question, because that's where therapy could work to a degree. You know, autism is in the brain. The brain structure of autists is not normal, it's not typical. That's why we talk about neurotypical people, that are people with a normal brain, and autists, because autists have a different brain structure. They work differently. Their neurology is totally, well, not totally, but it's to a great degree different from other people. The brain itself is structured in a different way. And again, no pill will change this. You cannot cure autism with some magical ingredient. There is no magic elixir that will change your brain structure. You may try to bang your head against a wall and get some severe brain injury, and that may change the structure of your brain, but it will very likely be extremely disadvantageous and very likely kill you, or at least disable you in a much, much greater way. So that's a bad way of doing it. But changing the brain structure of someone is extremely dangerous and very, 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 very bad as an idea, and will most likely have serious effects you don't want to have. So again, we don't have a cure for this. You have no possible pill or something that could change your genes or could change your brain structure. It's not possible. So, however, you can help people with autism to cope with some things. If you understand that their brain structure is different, and thus their perception of the world is different, their behavior is different, their emotions are different, then you can actually try to help them cope with autism and fit better into society. And to some degree that makes sense, because autistic people are out in the real world, you know. They have to deal with neurological normal people. They have to deal with neurotypical friends. They have to deal with a world that was created by and for neurotypical persons. And sometimes they need help to do that. Therapy can actually help autists to understand the world better, to understand what is the difference between them and neurotypical people, what neurotypical people expect from them. They can learn to mimic neurotypical behavior in order to better fit in. Like, I was taught to look into people's eyes. I was taught to do small talk. I am still in therapy, and I learn things like, how do I know if someone is crying or laughing? What's the difference? I start to grasp how other people feel emotionally, why their emotions are triggered by certain things that have absolutely no effect on me, why people think that some rules are important when actually I don't agree. They aren't, but they are common and they're used, and I have to adapt. Therapy helped me a lot to have less quarrels with my wife and to get along better with my children. It taught me how to get employed without too much trouble, how to fit in society without, colliding with my boss or something. And it's really helpful to cope with it. However, autism can never be cured. It is a way of being. To give you a different example, the male and the female brain are wired differently. They work differently. They perceive the world differently. The hormones in their blood are different. Their emotions, their emotional experience of the world is different. Their basic needs express themselves different, and they have different mechanisms to cope with stuff. Male and female brains are different, and autistic brains are also different. To say to cure autism, that's like saying we have to cure women of being female, or we have to cure men of being male. It's a stupid idea and it doesn't work. It's like saying we have to cure gay people. It doesn't work. It's something in the brain that won't change. And some people say autists are the third gender, which is quite funny, but it's not really true, but I get the point, you know. Autists really behave different than both men and women, and they experience the world quite vastly different. And that leads to different behavior and all the other things that are usually associated with autism. If you have autism, you will very likely recognize things that other people simply don't, that they overlook them, they don't realize those things are there. You will very likely have extremely strong emotions that are triggered by things that other people do not understand. Similarly, you likely don't understand why other people emotionally react to some things that you don't feel like they should be reacting emotionally at all. I, for myself, I do have emotions. I do have very, very extreme emotions, actually. I can laugh for days at a joke. I can cry for days for a movie character's death. I can be so angry that things get absolutely destroyed. Things, not people. Never hit someone, but I had to repair quite a lot of stuff. Yeah. So therapy can actually help you to understand the triggers of other people and how to avoid getting triggered yourself to really extreme emotions. So therapy is a way to better cope with autism, but it does not heal autism. And what's really important here is the question, should it be cured? We talked about the third gender thing and compared it to gay people. Is autism really something that must be cured? No. Actually, autism offers a lot of benefits. As I said, people with autism have a different look at the world, a different look on the world that leads to great inventions. Some people believe that about 90% of all technology that we have was invented by autistic people. I can't say if that's true, but I do know that many inventors alive today are diagnosed with autism. Even Bill Gates is an autist. I know that it's speculated that many historical figures, according to the biographies, were autistic, like Albert Einstein, Sir Isaac Newton, and many others, Socrates, Aristotle even, and Mozart, and so many others. So people with a different look on the world usually invent things that other people don't, because they see things that other people simply don't realize. People with autism tend to spot things that other people ignore. They tend to be emotionally triggered by things that other people don't understand. And this very different look at the world allows autistic people to question things that other people take for granted, that can lead to changes in society. Some people say that many revolutions in society were actually created by autistic people. I don't know if it's true, but I can totally see how it could be true, because autistic people question social rules, they question laws, they question the universe and nature, and that's what makes them curious. Why are things that way? Do they have to be that way? Can we change it? If we change it, can we do better than what we have now? And those questions are driving autists to discover a lot of new things. In my family, I question a lot of social accepted rules, and we threw a lot of them overboard because we discussed them and realized they're not important at all. They're actually harming us and not doing anything good, like the shaking hands thing. Do we have to shake hands? No. Does it give us any benefit? No. But it has risks. You know, hello there, or hashu, hello there. You have a higher risk of getting sick if you shake a lot of hands. Just to say. So many things are invented by autistic people because they have the ability to see the world differently. And it is this very same ability that makes them awkward or strange or weird. That's one and the same thing. Men often don't understand women, women often don't understand men. Autists usually don't understand both of them and aren't understood by both of them for the very same reasons. They are different. And it is that difference that makes them disabled and enabled. Autists usually do not suffer from their autism. What they may suffer from is the reactions of society, not the autism itself. When I grew up, I thought that I myself was perfect, just everyone else was crazy, you know? We are growing up with autism and we feel perfectly fine with being autists. We are normal in our perspective. We don't see why there should be any problem. If we face problems, they are put on us by other people. Not by the way how we are, but by how other people are reacting to how we are. Similar to gay people. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but you may have issues by society presented to you. If you are gay in Saudi Arabia, you can get killed. Now, is being gay a disease that must be cured so you don't get killed? Or would it be better to say killing people for being gay is wrong? You know, similar for autism. Do we have to cure it? No. Actually, I think if we would find a treatment for autism, most autists wouldn't want to be cured because we learned to cope with our autism. We are fine with our lives. We may need some help to cope better with reality and with society, but we are working, we are functional, we are usually very, very happy the way we are, and we don't know any other way to be. I don't want to be brainwashed. I don't want to be a different person. Imagine you have been living 30 years as who you are. Now someone shows up, tells you that's wrong, and demands that you become a completely different person. Imagine you are a woman in her 40s, 40 years, a woman, and then someone comes here, have a magic pill, you have to take this to become a man, and you get rid of all your issues and all the issues society has with you. It will stop you from anything feminine, you know, and it will turn you into a real man. Would you want that? I think not. And similar, all the autists I talk to would not even want to be cured. We have some problems, yes, because society isn't built around us, it isn't built for us. We have to fit in society, and that can be problematic for us. But it's not our fault, it's society not being built for us. If the majority of humans would be autists, neurotypical people would have pretty much the same problems that we autists are facing now, because they couldn't fit into an autistic society. Because they aren't autistic, yet it doesn't mean that something is wrong with them or that they have to be cured. Indeed, a world without neurotypical people would be horrible. It would be really horrible. You see, neurotypical people, well, it's really differentiated. A world without men would be doomed. A world without women would be doomed. A world without autists would be doomed, because autists can do a lot of things that other people cannot do. Now again, not every autist is highly intelligent, not every autist is very creative, not all autists can talk or communicate and so on and so forth, but a lot of people that did very great things were actually autists, you know. And that's why I think it's important to preserve autism. Not necessarily spreading it, but autism can be a blessing. It's not a curse. It comes with some disadvantages and with advantages. And I would never want to trade my autistic advantages for being normal. I can cope with the disadvantages, I'm fine with that. There's very little that I would change about my disadvantages, but I would, for nothing in the world, would I give up my advantages of being an autist. And all those I know wouldn't want to trade them either. You know, it is a form of being different, but that difference actually adds to the whole of mankind. I hope this video will give you some clarification about some things, will help you to understand autism better, and please, if anyone ever tells you that autism can be cured, call them out. Tell them you are idiots, you are wrong, what you say is just so far from reality, you might as well put that into a fantasy book, because it cannot be cured. And indeed, it shouldn't be cured. Humanity would miss out on so much if we would actually cure autism. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.